Well, hello, gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode. Agency Exposed is back.
We need like a little jingle. I mean, we have a jingle. Don't get me wrong.
Agency Exposed.
But no, and like you need like a little like.
We don't hide. Agency
like,
Exposed.
Yeah, where you can when we start off, we can all like sing it. Just something that's really catchy.
Well, we do.
What happened to
we do have our thing in the beginning.
What happened to jingles? Like jingles left. I don't know what happened. Like advertising.
I know.
It was all about the jingle, and now nobody has jingles.
Jingle works.
We don't even have taglines anymore.
Well, some people have jingles, but they're
called
we've
car
got the
salesmen.
meats.
They're called the what?
Would the Arby's slogan be considered in the
Can you
category
sing
of
it?
a jingle?
We've got the meat.
Oh, we
The
got
meats.
the meat.
The meats.
The meats.
Stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's kind of
so.
it's kind of like broadened, you know?
Yeah. It's kind of like attitude jingles. Like
Yeah.
it's not. It's like shouting jingles. We shout jingles now.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it. So I feel like we're all getting back into I know you have young kids and I have one left at home and so do you, Brad. And I feel like the summer is winding down, getting back to school. It's actually here in Nashville, believe it or not, the weather has cooled a tiny bit. So it feels like fall is on its way. Wow. Let's talk about you guys' summer. What happened? Ken, I know you went away for a while and you went to the lake in New York, upstate.
Upstate. Yeah.
How was it?
Oh man. Well, so I went into we go to the Adirondacks every year. And we've actually gone. The Adirondacks are in upstate New York. It's if you've never been, it's it's like a different state, basically. It's backcountry. And we go to like a town where like literally there are like, I don't know, 100-ish people that live there. So it's pretty cool. And very little cell phone service. And I've gone every year for my entire life, actually. It started with my parents.
You haven't missed a year.
I think I missed 1 year when my first was born, but even now my family goes back there every year from Tennessee.
That's really cool.
It's a trek, but it's just a special place for us, and hopefully
same place, same house,
same place, same everything, same piece of property on the same lake, and I don't know, like for anyone listening, like if you can, I've just begun to realize the value of like planting these deep roots, right?
Yeah.
That like if you can have these kind of little like more like small but like deep roots of like, you know, things that you do for generations or anything like that, there's just something special about that. So I want to preserve it.
You did this as a kid?
I did it as a kid.
And your parents did this as a kid? How many generations does this go back?
So my grandparents started going with my with my dad's side. And then so that would be three. My kids would be the fourth generation.
So your siblings go to at the same time?
They do. This time they did.
Cool.
But not always?
They don't always all get there at the same time, but we go for 2 weeks, usually minimum. Sometimes we go longer. And throughout the period of time that we're there, my siblings will all be there generally at least once. So and now they have kids, and so it's like a family reunion. It's great. But there's something to be said. I'll pause on or I'll just make a note of that kind of thing that you do. And I know, Bob, you have the Florida thing that you do with and you've done with your family forever. Brad, I think you do the Michigan thing, and like those are so important. And I guess I didn't always understand the value of them until recently. Like for a long time, Brad's getting a phone call right now.
Sorry about that, guys.
Tell him I said hi.
Let me put it on theater mode or we're in the theater right now.
Sleep.
This is not a professional podcast. What I was gonna say is what I didn't realize and probably didn't appreciate for a long time is that, and so I'd be like, you know, why would I drive 1,000 miles, you know, and you know, you can't even fly there. Like you could, but it would take just as long.
Yeah,
and you got kids and stuff. It's like so you drive. So there's no easy way of getting there, even unless you like. There's not really an quote easy way of getting there, because it's just so far back, right? It's like going to Alaska. Like you have to like parachute in and like that kind of stuff. So like, why would I do all this, you know? And for a while I didn't appreciate it as much, and then I realized really in the last 5 years that like the soul rest that comes with, I say soul because it's really like there are these, we all have those places. I'm sure you guys have them too. Like those places where you go there and you're just like, your soul is being restored and rested. And so that happens really, really well there. And, so it's not even that, like, it's not that hot. It's, which is not necessarily a good thing for a lake and a beach, right? So like you kind of want, but it just gets hot enough. The water's freezing cold. It's a mountain lake. So you're doing cold plunges every day, and those cold plunges help you. I now appreciate those too. I didn't always appreciate those. We do like skiing and that kind of stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, it was fun.
Tubing.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Now, do you have a boat there, or do you rent a boat while you're there?
We have a boat. My dad was always a boat person.
Oh, cool.
And didn't have it wasn't like had the tons of funds for a boat. Boats are expensive, but he just always loved and wanted a boat. And he was a skier, and so we always had growing up, like it was an old 85 horsepower like speedboat that we would ski on. And then we're actually upgraded about 20 years ago. We got a nautique. If you're familiar with ski boats, like ski nautiques are. So now it's a little older, but that boat, we actually spent half the time trying to fix it.
Jeez.
Did you get it up and running?
Replacing fuel pumps and all kinds of stuff. It was running, but not as smoothly as you like. Yeah, but we do. We have a 98 nautique, which is a cool boat.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's cool. What about you, Brad? What'd you do this summer?
Well, just trying to
tell us about your Porsche.
Yeah, create a rhythm. I just got an older Porsche, 43-year-old, 1980. Yeah, jamming back into the jamming journey. 1980.
Oh,
take you back.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Does it still have a cassette player in it?
No, it doesn't have a cassette. It was updated to a CD player. Ooh. So it's got a CD player. Yeah, I don't think I have any more CDs anymore.
You got to get the original player.
Well, it does have a USB input and Bluetooth, so it's it's a little bit more modernized.
The stereo
system.
system.
It's probably 10 years old. So that's fun, and just trying to do some. I like wrenching on things and fixing things up. I have some vintage motorcycles, and so it's for some reason I like shiny German vintage things, I guess.
Did you go anywhere?
I went up to Michigan with my family a couple times, and I went there by myself just to hang out with my family, and it was really nice. Nashville has a direct flight now into through Allegiance, and it's really inexpensive. $100 you can fly direct both ways to Flint, and that's where kind of my parents live, which is about just a little bit north of Detroit, about 45 minutes. And they're getting older, and my brother has a house. His family has a house on the lake, and so they have boats and jet skis. So we just hung out.
Nice.
So I just went there a couple weeks ago, and just trying to develop more of an intentional rhythm in my life. I think, especially, I've been getting up earlier, which has been really good. I get up typically early, but 6 a.m. and then I just spend time outside. It's been really beautiful mornings. A little rainy here, but and if you've ever been to Nashville, it gets really hot and humid. So if you get out in the morning, that's really the nice time where it's crisp and the humidity is a little bit more tolerable. So we have a nice deck area, and I just go out there by myself, and I do a lot of scripture reading, and then prayer and meditation, and then I kind of go through that process, and then I just intentionally look at my day and kind of decide what I need to prioritize and what I don't. When it's quiet and all you can hear are the birds chirping and my cup of coffee, and to me that's just like, I'm in that stage of life now where that's just a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. Nothing, no hurry, no rush. Jealous. I know, and it's
beautiful. Great picture.
And I'm in a season now too, where I have a son who's finishing high school, and my daughter's in college. So, we're kind of empty nesters, feeling like empty nesters at some level.
Yeah.
Empty nesters with like another adult in the house.
I saw you and your wife walking the other day.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, we do walks a lot. She likes to walk, and I like to walk, not for exercise. I mean, I like walking; it's great exercise, but I'd rather like do cardio because I feel like that's what I
If you walk fast, that's cardio.
Yeah, I don't like walking fast. I like running. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like a kind of a gallop, I guess, where you're it's kind of funky.
I think what I saw, I'll have to tell you, it's funny. I saw you
like speed walking.
Speed walking, jogging, and your wife just walking, but you were
She's
going
got
the same speed.
Well,
and
I know. She's
and
got
I
a
didn't know
longer
it was
stride.
you. I didn't know it was you. I was with my son, and so I was pulling up. We were driving, and I'm like,
Brad's running.
I go, that's weird. Look at that guy walking with his wife. And I go, wait a second, that's Brad.
What? Oh wait, I looked weird. Was I?
You were
speed
doing
walking?
like this, like speed.
Oh, I
walking
might have been
thing.
joking.
Yeah, I think you were joking.
Yeah, because I think. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember harassing her because I'm like, slow down.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, because I don't like walking fast. I want to run.
It's like slow or run.
Yes, I just want to leisurely talk and just do a nice walk, or I want to run, but I don't want to like try to keep up with somebody speed walking.
Yes.
Number one, that looks super dorky. Right. Number two,
I saw someone speed walking on the way in, and it's funny is I was going like, if I ever look like that, just run me over.
Yeah, I used to.
Sorry, I don't mean that. Just
I remember when I was younger.
Yell at me.
There was a woman who used to, and grew up in Michigan. You got 9 months of snow, so you spend a lot of time inside, and you're at the mall, and you see all these speed walkers at the mall, and we used to make fun of these, the women who are speed walking. They look like they're throwing their arms back and forth, and we used to kind of laugh at them. We were sick people back then, but
not anymore.
But now here I am, one of them.
Well, one day you're going to appreciate that when you can't run and your knees are shot.
So I feel like this summer I've been able to kind of just create more of a rhythm and more of a disciplined rhythm in that area, and I feel like it's been really helpful. I feel like there's a point where you start feeling where you're overwhelmed and you really don't know why, and you have to kind of stop and take a look at your day, specifically like everything you do. And so you're trying to figure out, how do I do what I need to do, but not feel overwhelmed when I'm doing it or exhausted. And so I've been able to do some things this summer, just trial and error, and just to try to figure out what makes me feel better and what gives me more energy during the day, and where I'm more clear and where I'm less agitated, and all those things that you do. And, just trying to figure it out a little bit more in my life. But I feel like I've gotten a good rhythm in that feels really good to me. So
that's great.
Yeah. So this is the summer of the rhythm.
The summer of the rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well. The rhythm of rest is a really good thing, and it's counterintuitive.
Yeah.
We all have a friend who wrote a book, Soul Rest, and he would always say that you work from rest.
I've read that. I read CZ's book.
Not for rest.
Correct.
Yeah. In fact, we did it like one of our early podcasts. He's on it.
Yeah.
He's a guest. But yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
From rest, not for rest, which is the exact opposite of what most of us do.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is.
Wow, where'd you go?
Well, we took a couple of day trip, little mini vacations to different places. Not far. I went and saw my
You saw the
dad.
Miami game.
Yeah, I was going
Messi,
to tell you,
didn't
but the big one when we did go down to
Sorry,
Florida.
I didn't mean to give it.
Yeah.
You continue your.
Yeah.
Get there when you want to.
Yeah, so I was going to say we took a couple, but then we go to Florida at least a couple of times a year.
Mm-hmm.
So we went down to visit my in-laws, and my mother-in-law's still alive. She's older, and so we try to get down there as much as we can. And usually we try to stay either on or near a beach, because like you, Ken, that's kind of my rest place and rejuvenating. And so we stayed on the beach down there, and it was really nice. It was really rejuvenating and energizing. So that was cool. But the highlight, I think, of my summer was we have one left at home like you, Brad. Other ones are out of the house, who's still in high school, and he's become very, very passionate about soccer. So we timed it to go down to see Messi, who just came to the MLS, his first appearance, his first game. So we went to Drive Pink Stadium down in Fort Lauderdale to see that. And man, it was an experience. It was almost existential.
Really?
Just the energy and the expectation, like when you get with that many people that are have that type of energy and expectation of we're going to see the world's greatest
Greatest
player that's ever played come out on our field, and like the expectation was super high, and he over delivered.
That's crazy
cool.
that you don't see that much. That's when you know the person's great.
So I lived in LA when Beckham played for the Galaxy, and I think he played 1 or 2 games and he got hurt, and that was about it.
Right.
I went and saw him actually. So I saw him. I saw him bend it, like Beckham, and he didn't play that great though. He didn't show up as much as I thought he would, but it was good to see. But
well, as you know,
Messi,
Beckham is one of the owners for Miami.
Yeah. So Messi though, I that's an amazing thing. Now, a quick question for you: does Messi speak English? Because I know I saw an interview and he speaks in Spanish. So
he never learned. I think he can get by. His wife speaks much better English, and I'm sure his kids.
I just saw an interview after the game, and like he's in the United States, so
Yeah.
I didn't know if he spoke.
No, it doesn't. Not much from what I understand. But the thing that I've been talking to my son, but also other people, it's like when you go see, and you know, we've talked about this a little bit. When you go see, I'm sure you saw Gretzky back in the day, and you see Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods in his heyday. There's just something amazing about watching people that are like the highest elite level of their game. Even if you don't like the sport, there's something about, I remember, like, I don't care about NBA-based basketball. I mean, I'll watch it if it's on, but it's not something I follow. But I remember when Jordan was playing, I would turn it on.
A lot of listeners
probably.
just now.
Yeah, probably.
I like
A
basketball.
lot of people.
I like basketball.
I know you do. Yeah. But it's just, you know, your preference. Same with golf, whatever.
Sure.
But I would watch Jordan play because it was so amazing to watch, right? And it's the same thing with Messi, I think. There's so many life lessons to learn from people like that. But here's a guy, and I won't spend a ton of time on that, but if you watch him in a game, he walks more than any other player in any league, meaning he moseys around and doesn't do anything. Like, you think the guy's bored. If you watch him, he's just kind of like, why is that guy just kind of moseying around the field doing nothing? And then when the ball gets to him, he's always in the right place, and he just takes off and he scores. Or there'll be a middle of a scrum in front of a goal and people are trying to defend it, and he's there, and he'll just take like 5 steps gently backward. No one notices him, and the ball will pop back to him and he'll just dink it in.
He's reading the field like nobody's business.
And his passes are crazy. And I think life lessons is he knows his lane, he knows what he's good at, and he doesn't try to be anything. But when it's time for him to stand up, he delivers. Doesn't try to be all things, doesn't try to defend any of that. His timing is impeccable. His leadership that night when he won, he donated the game to the young player that tore his ACL like in the first half. And he's always passing. He's unselfish. He's like, if he gets an opportunity to give it someone else to score, he will. If he's in front of the goal, he'll score. But so there's just a lot of leadership and life lessons that to learn from that experience. So that was my summer.
Patience.
Cool.
Patience. Oh my gosh.
Waiting for it.
Right? Like just walking around, waiting, not running around and busybodying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. While everybody is going one way, he's going the other. Like we've talked about that, right? Well, everybody is stressed out, like at high energy. He's just calm, knowing that it's going to come to me eventually. And when it does, I'm going to remain calm and I'm going to deliver and do what I do best. And when everyone else is zigging, I'm going to zag because that's where no one's going to be with me and I'll be able to deliver. And I think those are great life lessons, business lessons, leadership lessons, etc.
Yeah, I mean, just typically one scorer wins the game, right? And so you can just wait the time out. You're going to get it and do good with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my summer. We, everybody's back at school now. And, tell me about your guys' business. What's going on? Ken, how about you? How's business?
Business is good. One of the best years so far ever.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Congrats. It's not the best. And I only say that because it's good. That's a good thing. I think it'll end up being the best year ever, I think, so far.
Good.
which is a good thing. And there are a lot of good movements that are happening.
Awesome.
But I believe that's a result of a few things. I think it's a result of a bunch of changes on how we do things. There's also a big philosophy shift. We've talked about this, the philosophy and the psychology of pricing, and I think that's a big part of it.
So many changes going on in agency life these days.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. I like my opinion is that an agency, you shouldn't be an agency.
Right.
You should be something else.
Yeah.
Because
we change the name of our podcast.
Well, you got to change the name and change the game.
There we go.
It's not mine.
I like that.
It's not mine.
Change the name
to change the game.
to change. The
Works
Well,
smarter,
you want
not
to change exactly. Well, it's silly.
Wait,
But
we got to put a jingle in there
yeah,
somewhere.
go for it.
No, not me,
change the
doesn't it?
name, change the game.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. You went Howard Stern's turn. No, I think that I think a big part of it is or not. I'm not speaking just for myself, but I think strategically, you can't be the same as everybody else, and so you have to be different. Being the same, I think a lot of people think that the same makes it easy for people to find them, which there's probably there are pros and cons, right? So there's probably a little bit of advantage that gives you in maybe being found. But I think there's a big disadvantage when it comes to what you can deliver for them, because then they assume that you're all apples, and we're not all apples. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So,
Creating your own category is really, really important.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a big believer in right. Exactly. Like,
I think
not calling yourself.
There's
an
a huge
agency.
opportunity for that. I know in the field that I'm working in and the clients that I have, is I'm really encouraging them to shy away from using AI, even if they are an AI company,
Right.
because it is becoming so ubiquitous and so confusing. And we're just in this early age of, OpenAI and ChatGPT is dominated so much that people assume that when you talk about AI, that it's something like that. And it's such a wide open field.
It's fascinating to me. And it's a little sad how human beings, I was thinking about this yesterday. Like, as human beings, something like revolutionary, and I'm not saying I think they're good or bad, but like revolutionary, like AI or crypto or
The internet.
and then because everyone talks about it, then everyone automatically takes it for granted, like within months.
I know.
And now it's just like, yeah, AI.
I
Whatever.
think
It's like,
I think the AI in 5 years is going to be called just computer generated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it is. It's explosive right now, and it's exciting, and it's also scary at the same time, because you can see what's coming out of it right now. And it's going to change things, the way we work, for sure. And it's the thing that I've seen is it's fast, like how quickly within months things change in that world and are changing.
What I'm trying to get clients to think is, I was talking to somebody yesterday. I said, every time you talk or think about AI for your business, instead of using AI, stop yourself and go, what can I automate, and what can I make more efficient with this tool? That's the way you need to think about it. Stop going, okay, how can I use AI, artificial intelligence? It's like, no, what can you automate and make more efficient?
What you do is you use the word AI, but then you put a clarifier at the end.
Yeah.
So it's AI automation.
Exactly.
right.
AI efficiency.
Yeah. And then everyone thinks, oh, it's
With a
easy.
jingle.
Just easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
AI automation.
Great. Good job.
Bring your
ding.
guitar in next time.
Ding, ding, ding. Like a little
So,
jingle.
Brad, the question then
Yes.
is, we've been keeping track, or probably not as consistent as we should. How much of your hours per day has AI saved you at this point? What are you up to?
I'm up to 1,000 a day. 1,000 hours
AI
a day.
can do that.
No,
AI
I
can do
think
that.
I think it's still within 30 minutes to an hour and a half. Depends
good.
on what I'm doing for the day. I mean, it really depends on what I'm doing.
So you're almost at a full day by the end of the week.
Yeah. What I'm trying to do is train it so that it can actually do my conference calls for me, and it sounds exactly like me, and it answers every correct answer. So I put in
That's not that far off.
guardrails, and then it automatically has conversations, and it gets to the point. And negotiating is. I want my negotiation skills to go up. So I'm going to use AI.
Have you heard that Tesla does that with their sales? Have you seen that or listened to that call?
No.
Tesla has actually been experimenting, and I have. I'll send it to you guys. There's a recording where you can listen to it, where a guy called and tested it out. And if you call Tesla or they call, I'm not sure how it is, but it said something like, "Hey, Brad, I heard you're interested in taking a test drive, or you're thinking about one of our cars," and it's all artificial intelligence. So when you answer, it's like, yeah, oh, a 2014. Honda is a good car. Why are you thinking about upgrading? And then you answer it, and it carries on this conversation.
Wow.
And if you listen closely, the responses are a little bit slow, so you could probably figure it out. But once they get those,
But they don't tell you up front that this is a computer. Like,
no,
they hoodwink you, think you're talking to a human.
And it's a British guy.
Ooh.
And the pauses, the breaths, everything.
There's some moral challenges with that. You need to know,
Am I talking to a human?
yes, you need to know that. I think because it's going to be tough to differentiate a human, and I just want mine to be a better negotiator. So I'm going to put in guardrails. I'm going to give it personas of like a tiger, and
yeah, you have Tiger Brad, Angry Brad, Soft Cell Brad,
Soft Cell Brad. What I want to dial in today on this call?
Yeah.
It's
coming.
You know what someone showed me, which I'm using a little bit, is this tool called Harpa. Have you seen that?
No.
It's this Chrome plugin, and I know we're in the weeds with stuff. We rarely do this, but what it'll do is it just, you can ask it questions, and all of its knowledge is the page that you're on. So it could be like a website, but what's cool about it is you can have a giant Google Doc of something. Right? Let's say it's a strategy document or something like that. And you can start asking questions about it and have it summarize things. And it's actually really
useful.
useful.
Basically AI trained on a very small amount of information that you're
the
looking
language model is just the page that's open.
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
Love
So
that.
it's examining the page, and now it's sucking in the copy, maybe even images. Or
Yeah,
not.
I think.
And you
I
can
don't
ask
know.
questions
I
about
think video too. I think video.
Really?
Too.
So you can ask questions about it, and it summarizes. Because I do that right now with documents with ChatGPT. I just upload stuff and say, "Hey, give me what is this? So give me a summary of this. What does this mean? What does that mean? Give me some facts about that?" And and it's my little research buddy.
Does Harpa allow you to then
you can connect to? So it's.
Can you print out or use if you say summarize this or ask questions, and then you can copy and paste the response?
It's just a chat. It's like a little chat window.
Okay.
It's actually really useful.
That's really cool. Tell me, you can speak, rather than reading a 10-page document,
summarize
this
website
for me.
Yeah.
I have a question about this. Go find this in this document.
That's nice because you don't have to
rewrite it.
copy and paste. So it must use ChatGPT. It just sucks it in.
Yeah, you can use your.
submits
I think it's connected to 3 of the AI services, like ChatGPT, Bard, and there's another one. I forget the name of it. And you just choose which one you want it to use.
That's the future. I believe that's what AWS, Amazon is betting on. I don't know if you saw their announcement last week, but they're not trying to compete with OpenAI or Google. That's never been their line of business.
Right.
But what they've done is said, our AI play is this. We're going to give you all the pipes and the tools to create your own small language models.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, you're going to need server space for that.
Yeah.
And that's where they're going to make all their money. They're going to make a
Amazon's
ton of
always
money.
been really good about choosing a lane and sticking to it. To the point earlier.
Yeah.
So it's more development tools that they're selling, and obviously there's server space that comes with it.
And I wonder, I think there's a takeaway for service companies and agencies in that world, in that, because we can see the latest thing and be like, oh, we need to be doing that. We need to be doing this service, or selling this platform, or doing PPC over here or whatever. And I think it comes down to like doing what you're really, really good at and just staying in that lane, right? And like knowing like, okay,
It's the Messi effect.
it's the Messi,
Yes.
it's the Amazon.
I'm gonna go wander around like I don't know what I'm doing
Yeah.
over here, but then I'm gonna show up.
right.
But you know what that is? I think there's something in being, and I'm learning this, I'm not good at it, or learning it more as I get older, is just being calm and patient
Yeah.
and non-reactive and slow, not slow to innovate, but slow to make rash decisions
Yes.
and say, you know, I'm not going to jump right now on this, but I am going to do something, and I am going to score.
And if you look at like I look at my life, and especially in my past, I feel like I've been reactive based on fear, or
Yes.
I haven't been. It's not like I feel like I'm in a controlled world. Like I don't. I feel like I'm having to react to everything, and everybody else is controlling me like a puppet. You know what I mean? And I don't feel that way 100%, but if you look back at it, it's kind of my life. Like, I feel like, I'm like, I got to fix that. I got to fix that. I got to fix that. Like a
Even
little
recently?
fixer. No, I don't feel that way recently.
'Cause I feel
think-
like you're like very, I would say like you're intentional. You've been really
yeah, I've
intentional.
been more
the last couple of-
intentional. Yeah, definitely in the last 7 or 8 years of my life, I've been
Yeah.
more intentional. But I feel like that's easy to do. It's easy, especially when you have young kids and you're
Right.
running a mile a minute and you're trying to solve problems in all of your life, not just business, but personal, and trying to get kids here and there. And you become, you're like an Uber driver 1 second. Next thing you know, you're a CEO 1 second. And next thing you know, you're doing whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's very reactive, but I
I feel
do.
like that's the stage of life I'm in right
You are, yeah. Yeah.
You're at that stage right now.
Yeah,
Definitely
it does change. So
Definitely
you'll have a season later. It's sad though, because you look back at that
Oh.
time and it's such a special time. I look at
Yeah.
pictures of my kids when they're young and I'm like, oh man, that just seemed like yesterday, but it's such a sweet time.
I know.
Just-
I know. I'm
just
scared. I
savor
don't-
it.
I know. I do. I don't want it to end, but I feel you because like yeah.
Anyways, I don't know why I
yeah.
went off on a little tangent there.
No, that's good.
But-
We were talking about just being patient and being
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
And, I've been learning that a lot from CEOs and, VCs and people either that I read or study or that I know personally. They have that quality about them. There's like this quiet, they can be aggressive. Obviously, they can move quick, but there's also the willingness to go, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
No, I don't need to jump
I'm
at
not
that
gonna
right now.
participate in that right
I'm not
now.
going to participate. Or
Yeah.
what you might perceive as, man, this is a great opportunity. Why? And you see this when you watch Shark Tank or Mark Cuban specifically. He's like, I don't know anything about that, and I pass. And you're like, what? That's a great
Yeah.
opportunity. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
And the other guy's next to him's like, you're dumb. You should come in with me. And
Yeah.
he's like, no, I'm not interested.
I was listening to someone yesterday, and he was a billionaire, and I'm always fascinated by like the hyper successful, extremely wealthy people. Every time I get to either have the privilege of meeting or working with these people, or just hearing interviews with them, they're very, very simple. And one of the, I mean,
It's so true.
It's so true. Like I was talking to someone.
Why does it take us that long to learn that?
Well, that's the crazy thing. I know, right? Like we all. So I have so many thoughts because I have a mentor that's like, it took. He's like, he always says, he's in his 60s. He's like, it took me until I was like 55 to realize that we as humans are conditioned, maybe by school, to think that the simple solution is not the right solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we discount all the easy things and we look for the hard things. And I think that is true. I think school is part of that, right? Like, how like the obvious answer is always a trick question, right? Like, that's how I grew up in school. Like it was never the easy answer. It was never the right one. It might have a gotcha.
Like that's too easy.
And I can relate to that. And I think that happens for me. And then, and so one of the things I've been trying to do is practice that simplicity a little bit more, because as you listen to these people, they're like, I'm just thinking of so many situations. So like I was talking to someone who was a wealth manager for like billionaires. And I got a chance to pick his brain for like 5 minutes about like, what would be your what's your simple wealth management strategy for your investments? And it was like so crazy simple, like not risky, like just so simple. It was like, I do this, and then when that bucket's filled up, I fill this bucket up, and when this bucket's up, then when this bucket's filled up, then I only then will I put it into real estate, and when that bucket's filled up, I put it into like, and it's just like really interesting. So it's like that's it. That's how you manage trillions of dollars. But I was listening to this billionaire yesterday, and he said something that was really that stuck with me, which is kind of what I mentioned. Why I mentioned the thing about agencies earlier. He said, making money is it's just like, we're being successful is like, we're all distracted by trying to do these different things, right? Like you talk about stocks and like, so I think I need to get into stocks, and you talk about real estate. So I think I need to get into real estate. It's like the way that you can be the most successful is just find what you're good at, the thing that you are really good at, and just do a lot of that thing.
Yeah.
So and like, don't jump at the other stuff.
Right. If that's real estate, do real estate. If that's business, do business.
I have a friend.
If that's paid ads for an agency, do paid ads. If that's like web stuff, like do web stuff.
I talk to a friend of mine, and he's an investor, and we talk about investments. But his term is, I don't invest in things I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I'm like, that's a good rule to follow. Don't invest in things you don't understand.
That's a great rule.
But there's this like FOMO and shiny object where like Bitcoin's taking off, so I need to learn about Bitcoin. When I realized only this year, probably more than ever, I'm like, I probably 10x a dollar in my business. Why would I put it anywhere else?
Yeah, no,
that I don't fully understand what's going on with it.
And you know it well too. So
it's like, and if you think about it, anyone who's running their own business or that kind of stuff, that's probably the case.
Yeah,
like, like where, it's just interesting. So you meet these super successful people, and that's what it ends up being. It's just really simple stuff.
Yeah, I going back to the idea of just busyness and things. I think one of the things that I've noticed is that for some reason I felt like in business that if I wasn't running hard, it wasn't moving the needle in my business. And I talk to people, or even I do this. There's a few people that I work with, and I do this too. It's like I gotta go. Like everything is like, I gotta go run. I got another meeting. I gotta run. I got another meeting. Like it's just like packed and racked, racked and packed, whatever. It's and I just don't know that'll ever get you anywhere. Like you can be working on all these different things and have all these deals going, and you're spinning all these plates. But the reality is, some have to crash eventually. There's just not. It's hard to maintain that. And
I think as a culture, we've built our self-worth on that.
And so I think that's part of the rhythm thing that I've been doing this summer, is just really to bookend this, is to kind of, slow down, be more intentional. But I also realized that I needed to provide an hour and a half of space where it's just me, and there's nothing going on. The world's not started yet. Like the sun's coming up, the birds are chirping, and it's calm. And I needed that hour and a half in the morning. I do need an hour and a half in the morning of calmness.
Yes.
Before I get running. I can't just wake up, jump in the shower, get a cup of coffee, get in my car, cruise, and then get in a meeting. Like that, if that happens to me, I'm dead for the day, because I haven't prepared for my race. I haven't prepared. And that's just who I am and how I'm built, and everybody's built differently. I understand that.
But I would venture to say that most people that say that might think they're not built that way are still.
Yeah.
You just may not realize that you're hustling and in burnout, and that there's a better way.
So I try not to make any meetings that, until 10 o'clock. Typically, unless something like this, but we do this in the morning or earlier. But any business meetings were, and because it gives me some space, so I create space.
I think what you're saying, and Ken, you alluded to it earlier. In psychology, there's something called, and I'm going to butcher this. It's not exactly, but I think it's called like the effort bias. And effort bias says, we all do this, specifically as Americans. Effort bias says the more we prioritize and think it's worth something more if there's more effort and time and sweat put into it. And that type of bias, while that might be true in some aspects, it really blinds us to the things that are really, really important of what you're saying. It's like you get to your age, you're like, all those years I spent my wheels, I could have done this because this brings more value, or this is how I make more money, or this is how I build my relationship with my wife or my family or my kids. All I had to do was stop doing all those things. But in our brains, we somehow think that this means more. And we see this, I think, and not to go down another rabbit trail, we see this with AI, right? It's like everybody's poo-pooing AI and going, oh, that's not real writing, or that's not real art, or that's not, because we didn't spend a lot of time and effort doing it, so therefore it doesn't hold value. And I think if you start to dig and poke that a little bit further, what we're saying is the more effort, sweat, and time I put into it, which is true at times, but not always, because sitting on your back porch,
it's rarely true. I think it's rarely true. Like, I totally agree with you. Like, and the rest of the world, much of the rest of the world gets this.
Mm-hmm.
It's an American thing, and it's pretty insidious.
It's like grind.
I think it's like a satanic thing, because it's like, it's so bad.
Not today, Satan.
No, no, but I mean, like, I really believe that, because, like, what's the most valuable thing in your life, and what's the thing that you, the only thing that you have to really leverage into doing something of worth or good, and that's your time. So if you waste that time, then you won't do that thing.
That's right.
And and I've had this conversation, because I've realized that too, and I've actually tried to, just to be blunt, like in our business, I'm trying to find the easy ways for us to deliver a lot of value.
Right.
Like the easy ways, not the hard ways, the easy ways for us to deliver a lot of value and to profit a lot from that value that we deliver. And some people might hear that and be like, that's not right. Wait, you want to profit from easy?
But you know what though?
But like,
that's business. And
well,
that's good business.
That is good business.
Every business should be doing that.
No, but for some reason, and this is why I'm I guess emphasizing it, because I feel like in agencies, I actually talked to a lot of agencies about this, and I've had a few be like, that is morally wrong. And I'm like, I don't. There's like
saying
there's
to
like a stronghold in it.
That's like saying to a human being, never exercise. Never get efficient. Just eat chips and candy bars all day and sit down and
I've had agencies tell me,
don't be efficient with your,
because I'll kind of get a chance. Sometimes people even ask me, but like I've had one and it's actually, there's a few that I can think of, and they'll say, if you, let's see, how should I put this? They'll say, like, if you're creating efficiencies on something, you should pass that on, like 100%, right? So, like, you know, I spent 100 hours here.
Yes. You're saving money. You should pass that on.
I spent 100 hours here, and then when it costs me 50 hours, I charge you 50 hours.
Humans value only time, so they look at your time. Well, how much that time did it take you?
I don't know if humans, but
it's
I know
that effort bias.
I think Americans do
about.
Americans definitely. So and what you're talking about really is value pricing versus hourly pricing or effort pricing.
But what should it matter? I think I said this before. I'm like, what does it matter if I have a monkey in the back, that I have a magic monkey that does it all for me?
You're getting better results,
you know? Or a magic lamp, or like a genie or something.
Or
it doesn't matter.
I think this is going to be the monumental shift with AI in our thinking as people.
Yeah.
Sure,
because it's. I mean, we saw it in the Industrial Revolution, right? We can't burn people out and make them work 15 hours a day. We're going to set a law and says 8-hour work days, right?
Yeah.
And so it's beneficial ultimately to only a few people to overwork and grind. And that's what we have to understand. It's not benefiting you. It might be benefiting somebody, but it's not benefiting you. And you sitting on your back porch doing nothing is the best thing you can do to be the most productive.
I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
No, you know what I'm saying.
Everything.
Right, exactly.
But you know
no,
the effects it gives you. You're a better productive person during the day. And it wasn't that you were getting up early and grinding at 4 a.m. You were like, I'm going to just chill. I'm going to enjoy nature. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to pray. I'm going to do whatever gives me the best thing. And by not working, it actually gives you the advantage during the day.
And the grind and the focus on the effort bias just hurts everybody. I think the point that we're all making is like, it's not even about efficiency for profit's sake. That is important for a business.
Sure.
You need efficiency for profit's sake, right? But in life, you need space, and you need to be able to create things of value for less time so that you can have that space to create better. Like,
Correct.
If you look at an artist, right? So all of us know like designers, right? Like, so they're not like, they're a form of that's a creative role, right? If you tell a designer like, okay, I've got a gun to your head and you need to design something awesome in 3 hours, okay, or it's over.
Forget about it.
Like that, it's almost impossible, right? It's a creative process.
Yeah.
You can't do it out of stress, right? You need to do it out of a creative place. There's all these things, right? So like that's the case there. That's the case for everything that we do.
Yeah, we don't put guns to people's heads.
No,
so
but
that's not something that we've.
No, we haven't. I've never personally.
I know, but is that a good thing to start doing?
No, I'm saying
get more productivity.
What I'm saying is you don't. Right?
Oh, okay, don't.
What I'm saying is like, if you did that, you wouldn't get a good result.
You're right.
Because I'm saying it's very obvious in a creative role.
Sure.
But it's true in every role.
Yeah.
It's true in every role in life that people need space to create really great things and do really good work.
Well, you got to go. I mean, you've got to get into flow.
Sorry, no one's putting guns to anyone.
No. But the concept of flow. I can't remember the psychologist who kind of coined it.
It's a very complicated name.
Yeah, flow. Yeah, it starts with a C. I think it's I don't know, Eastern European.
I still haven't learned
Anyways,
how to pronounce it.
but I think that's the key, is that in the creative space, the flow is what gets your juices going, your creative juices going, and you can, but you got to shut everything out. And I think that's what I do in the morning. Really, is just flow. It's just have time to shut everything else out besides the birds chirping. Those are cool. And it allows my brain to like maximize its capability. And what it does is it's soothing and healing. So like a creativity is healing because you go into flow, but it takes time. It takes 30 minutes to do something where you have to drown everything out just to get in there. It's like you're on your own little space.
True.
Some people some people look at that and go, man, you're in your own head, but it's really true. And then it's a beautiful place in there, but it's actually, it's healing. There's a healing mechanism that happens during
you're
it.
You're accessing another part of your brain.
Correct.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
And that's what we miss, is that when we like click into work mode and performance mode and grind mode, we're using a part of our brain that, if it's not being nourished by the other part of our brain, when you slow down and you take walks and you do nothing, you get, this cognitive overload where you're like, I'm exhausted by the end of the day and I don't want to do anything. And it's like your brain is a muscle, and not literally, but you have to renew it and you have to rest it and you have to revive it. And by doing nothing, not being victim of that effort bias, that's where, again, you look at a Warren Buffett, right? Or you can go through the line. Their lives seem very easy, right? He lives in the same little house he's always lived in. He drives the same old beat up truck, that he's always had. And you could go, yeah, well, that's easy if you're a billionaire, but he's never not done that, so it's not like he gets to do it. I think there's something really, really rare about that we need to get back to and really think about and study.
Exactly. I want to write a book. It's called Do Nothing.
Do nothing, make money.
No, do nothing and be better.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyways, I'll have ChatGPT help me.
I like it.
Yeah,
you should do it.
Wait, that's not real.
No, I'll direct it. I'll inform it.
Yeah, there you go.
It just will help me brainstorm.
Awesome, guys. This has been fun, and look forward to next time.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.